So we're then into sleep. This is a PhD bag. It's the K series, and it's the minimum rated that the race allows. The race allows for 15-degree comfort.
Yeah.
And this is the minimum. As a consequence, it's a couple of 100 grams. It's mostly used as a liner in the other stuff.
Yeah.
But it is a down bag, and it packs down to.
And most of the time, it's relatively warm. The only night that it's particularly cold is night 1, which is when you're in cloud forest. So you can always. Did you layer up for that? Did you sleep in layers? Because I know a couple of people were cold. There's pictures of even some of the guys wearing the roll mats around them to stay warm. But that once again is probably subjective to how you deal with hot and cold, isn't it? So
I'd say the first night, Cock of the Rock, that first night in that hammock station.
Yeah,
that's the cold night.
Right.
You're up on it's like a barn, open barn, and you're in kind of racks of hammocks. The wind comes in underneath the hammock.
Yeah. And it's protected away from the main kind of water bit, so you're away from all the main bits of mosquitoes and stuff. But yeah, it's
cold.
Does really get cold there. But I think it was. I don't think it's regularly that cold. I think it was probably strange for that year. Typically, your coldest night will be night 1, and then night 2 won't be overly warm, but it'll still be cool. And then from that point on, it's relatively warm because you're in the jungle.
So my advice would be on that station where you're hanging indoors and the wind's coming under you, because you don't need your rainfly.
Yeah.
Hang your rainfly underneath in a V,
yeah,
and then you've got windbreak, and then you won't be cold.
Great.
Think of it at the time. I was absolutely. I can't tell you how cold I was.
Yeah.
So I've got myself racked in the fly, and then afterwards you go, I should have done. The other thing people might want to consider is a foil survival blanket, just to go, because it's just the action of the wind under very thin material.
And it's probably important to remember that when you did the race in 15, there was 30 runners, so they was all in one area. Where when now we've got 55, you can imagine in that small way, they're going to be down. Well, it's 55 plus the Peruvian, so we're going to be down in the main bit, and it'll be more like hammock stations like the others. So it might not be a problem, but it'd be better to be prepared for that. And then we've got Hennessy.
Yep.
Hammock and rain sheet.
Yep.
Practiced to set this up before.
Yep.
Noticeable difference in the people that practiced to set this up and didn't, because Archie ended up helping all the other people that didn't. So Archie's set up time from crossing the line to being in his hammock, having a sleep and food was close to 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
some of the guys were still packing up their bags and putting their hammocks up 4 or 5 hours after crossing the finish line. So if you're looking at maximising your recovery, get used to setting this up, and not only setting it up, but setting it up quick.
Yeah. What hammock tips have I got?
Make sure your rain sheet doesn't go onto anyone else.
Yeah, that's a big one actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, as you come back into the hammock stations, you're going to find that the sooner you get back, the better real estate you get. So you get the poles that are furthest apart, and you can pick a better area, so there's an incentive to run quicker. If you get back, it becomes a bit of a tent city, and people aren't functioning thoughtfully. So your fly will do that, and you'll see them set their hammock up just to where the water's going to run off your fly, and then they'll get cross with you.
Yeah, so the last thing you want is to be dripping rain onto another runner, or the same thing, them dripping water onto you.
So don't set up under somebody else's.
So yeah, we will mention it in the race brief, but you can set up that around there, and because of the hammock stations will be slightly bigger in terms of the setup this year, there should be a little bit more space, but it'll be something to be considered.
This is the Hyperlite. It's not sold in the UK.
Canada, right?
There's one stockist, America. There's one stockist who's listed those in the UK. I rang them. They weren't interested, didn't have any stock, didn't want to help. So I rang Hennessy in America and said, yo guys, it'd be really cool if we could have a couple of these, one for me and one for Austin. And if we're buying 2, doing some discount, and they discounted a ton of money off. Did the shipping really light, and it was cheaper than getting the heavier ones in the UK.
They seem to be really good if you speak
really
to them.
Cool
if you mention that you're part of this race, they tend to look after all of our guys really well.
Yeah, they were superb.
So total pack weight by the time we turned up on the start line with water?
So it was 6.2 kilos of pack, there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
6.5 tops.
You was one of the lighter ones. Average was probably about 8, I'd say. Some actually went higher than that, but there was a strong correlation between pack weight and finishing. So it's something to consider. If you're less experienced in terms of the ultra scene, you'd want to, I'd say, be heavier than 6, just to have that extra food and backup.
Yeah, I think the thought process on food is you can eat it.
Yeah.
So if you find you've got too much 3 days in, fantastic, have a feast.
Or it works like prison, you can play swapsies with the other runners.
But if you haven't packed it, you don't get to eat it.
Precisely. So
Go on. No, I've got a rule of thumb that if I don't pack it, I shouldn't eat it. So I'm not hanging around waiting for other people to off discard food. So you need to get it right.
Yeah, and that's everything there. So everything's set, bag packed. When it's packed like that, it's on his back nice and tightly with no room, and that's it.
The final tip would be as you go through the week and you eat your food, your bag will get loose and you'll get more bounce. So stop compressing stop tightening your straps, but stop compressing your sleeping bag down. See there, I've compressed it right down. Leave your sleeping bag loose in the waterproof. That takes up more space and it stops a little bit of the bounce.
Great tip, great tip. So hopefully that gives you all the information that you'll need for this race and any other races. A lot of that information is transferable. Thank you, you're welcome to all the other races that but yeah, any final words for them?
No, enjoy.
Cool. Yeah. Cheers guys.